Between June of 1966 and June of 1969, our family lived on Tremont Avenue in the Bronx. Those were hard and tough times for our family. Just a few blocks away from our tenement building, and just on the other side of the Jerome Avenue L, was a small movie theater called The Art. Now, The Art was not an art house, but they did show a number of very good films. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Bonnie and Clyde, Alfie, to name just a few. But the one that surprised me was a grade B action melodrama called Dark of the Sun. It was the top half of an MGM summertime double bill. The bottom half was this very bad spy movie called A Man Called Dagger. Years later, in Los Angeles, I was doing a play with the late Steve Allen, who also did the music for A Man Called Dagger, and when I asked him about that, he was genuinely surprised that anyone had ever heard of it, let alone had seen it. Which brings me back to Dark of the Sun, which, among many other things, has a very interesting score by French film composer Jacques Louzier. Now, the story itself is set in the Congo, where a group of mercenaries are recruited to rescue the population of a small mining town that's soon to be attacked by a rebel army. Rod Taylor, looking a little heavier than usual, gives a commanding and athletic performance as the mercenary leader. Jim Brown, fresh from his breakthrough role in The Dirty Dozen, is just fine as Taylor's more idealistic second-in-command. Yvette Mimieux is the female lead, such as it is. It's an underwritten part. I suspect she was cast due to having co-starred with Taylor 8 years previously in George Pal's The Time Machine. British actor Kenneth More is also on hand as an alcoholic doctor. An early scene where Taylor bribes him with a case of scotch so he'll join the team as a medical officer is perhaps the only comic moment in an otherwise fairly bleak film. German actor Peter Karsten is cast as a former Nazi who joins the team once he discovers the true reason behind the mission, which is the retrieval of $50 million worth of uncut diamonds. Yes, it's chock full of cliches, all right. So why do I like it? Well, for one thing, it's beautifully shot in Jamaica by master cinematographer Jack Cardiff, who also takes over the director's helm. Now, a lot of Dark of the Sun is set on a train, which helps give the narrative a forward momentum. Also, I happen to like trains. In fact, many of my favorite movies are set on trains. But let's not kid ourselves. The main attraction here are the action sequences, which are very well done. And some of them are quite brutal, even shocking for the time. The film is also rather mawkish and patronizing when it comes to dealing with issues of race. This leads to an anti-heroic climax which modern audiences will find disappointing, if not somewhat confusing. Yes, it's a mixed bag of a movie, all right, one that's gained something of a cult following over the years. So what's the appeal? Well, obviously, for most it's the hard action and the violence. For me, well, it's like I said, those were hard and tough times. Or maybe I just like it because of the train. See you around the campus.